Robert Pattinson says that his next film The Batman is a sad movie in which he portrays two versions of the same weirdo dealing with trauma. Certainly not what you'd expect from a movie that's expected to smash box office records when it opens next month. The Batman is unlike any previous time we've seen the superhero on the big screen. According to Pattinson, it's not another origin narrative, but we already knew that. The character has already been at it for 2 years in filmmaker Matt Reeves' movie, and Pattinson said that circumstances in Gotham City haven't gotten any better since Bruce Wayne donned the cape and cowl. In reality, to the ordinary person, Batman appears to be no different than the masked criminals he battles. He said, "I've definitely found a little interesting thread. He doesn't have a playboy persona at all, so he's kind of a weirdo as Bruce and a weirdo as Batman, and I kept thinking there's a more nihilistic slant to it. 'Cause normally, in all the other movies, Bruce goes away, trains, and returns to Gotham believing in himself, thinking, I'm gonna change things here. But in this, it's sort of implied that he's had a bit of a breakdown. But this thing he's doing, it's not even working. Like, it's 2 years into it, and the crime has gotten worse since Bruce started being Batman. The people of Gotham think that he's just another symptom of how shit everything is. There's this scene where he's beating everyone up on this train platform, and I just love that there's a bit in the script where the guy he's saving is also just like, it's worse. You're either being mugged by some gang members, or a monster comes in, like, fucking beats everybody up. The guy has no idea that Batman's come to save him. It just looks like this werewolf." Pattinson went on to say that there's a scene in the movie where Bruce's butler Alfred chastises him for tarnishing the Wayne family name by dressing up in the dark. And Bruce responds, "This is my family legacy. If I don't do this, then there's nothing else for me." Pattinson said he's never interpreted the moment as Bruce being aimless, but rather as though Bruce has checked out. He said, "I think that makes it a lot sadder. Like, it's a sad movie. It's kind of about him trying to find some element of hope in himself, and not just the city. Normally, Bruce never questions his own ability. He questions the city's ability to change. But I mean, it's kind of such an insane thing to do. The only way I can live is to dress up as a bat." In terms of psychology, this sounds a lot like Michael Keaton's Batman, who, as you may recall, was a lonely man who used to wait around every night for any excuse to put on a costume and battle criminals. In the profile, Pattinson mentions that he recently saw a rough version of the Batman, which had to be over 3 hours long because the theatrical cut is close to 3 hours. He described the initial shot as very shocking since it's unlike anything else we've seen in a Batman picture. He also confessed that the noir intensity of the film surprised him, and that he felt like a fool, since he'd never heard Batman referred to as the world's finest detective.